You're probably watching this video because you considered selling your Central Florida home or investment property. Whether you're considering upsizing, downsizing, or simply cashing out, I'll be going over how you can net the most amount of cash from your investment as smoothly as possible. Because once that decision to sell has been made, whatever the reason for the sale, these are the two most important factors to consider: how to net the most amount of money with the least amount of hassle. So you can move on to your next project as quickly as possible with the most amount of cash in your hand. My name is Brent Danholm, and I'm a real estate broker here in Central Florida, and I've helped countless people buy and sell real estate in this area and throughout the state. I have a pretty broad international background, both from buying and selling real estate in other countries, but also from working with international investors right here in the Sunshine State. So I know exactly what hurdles that are when it comes to selling your home here in the state. And that is why I have built a team of experts to help you, from tax experts and attorneys to title experts and everyone else you're going to need in order to make this process as smoothly as possible. We all have a vast experience in working with international clients. So, and you should know that while we've done most of our transactions right here in Central Florida, we have really been working with investors all over the state. So I'd say if you work with us, you're in pretty good hands. Right now, a lot of our clients are worried about the market. So let me tell you, before we get into this, the current market here in Central Florida is still strong for sellers. It is not as crazy as it was a few years ago, but it's still extremely strong. My team and I, we still sell homes faster and for more money than ever. Homes just don't sell themselves anymore. But with the right strategy, homes are actually still moving pretty fast. So let's get into it and start talking about how you can net more money from the sale of your Florida home right now, and probably for more money than you actually thought. This presentation may seem a little more like a marketing lesson than anything else, because I will be talking a lot about how you can expose a product or service to the most opportune buyer, because that is exactly what we do here at our team. We make sure that we get your property exposed to the most opportune, the most likely buyer, in order to sell your home for the most amount of money. And that takes quite a lot more than just throwing it in the MLS or putting a sign in your yard. I'm going to show you a targeted marketing approach that works really, really well for us here at our team with all the homes that we represent. And while I know that I might not be the right fit for you, or you might not be the right fit for me, so I'll also be talking a little bit about how the a little bit more about the most important decision that you'll ever make here as a homeowner when selling, and that is choosing the agent that will market your home for you. Because I found that unfortunately most owners don't really know the criteria to utilize when it comes to choosing a real estate agent. So today I'm going to show you some of the important factors to look for when selling your home for more money, when trying to net as much as possible, and I'm also going to show you some factors to look for when choosing a real estate agent. Because as I said, I may not be that agent for you, or you may not be that client for me. And obviously, I also want to show you a couple of things that our team does here that can sell your home quickly and for more money. I think that you'll find what we do is pretty exclusive, and that nobody else offers quite exactly the same thing as we do, and that is why we get these really superior results. You know, there are three common misconceptions when it comes to choosing a real estate agent. And I'm going to give you all three here. Here's number one. A lot of people think that all agents within the same brokerage all have the same procedures, they all have the same skills, they all have the same marketing tools. So as long as you go with the most well-known brokerage in town, you can choose pretty much any agent within that brokerage. What you may not know is that every single agent is an independent contractor, his or her little business on their own, and they can do anything they want. There's zero policies or procedures in place for how to market a home. So a brokerage might quite literally have the number one agent in the area, as well as the agent who hasn't sold a property in over a year. So there really is a big, big difference in agents, even within the same brokerage. So the brokerage you choose doesn't really matter as much. It's the agent that you choose that matters. I think you might agree that if LeBron James changes teams, he's still going to perform at a very high level. It doesn't really matter what team he's with or how well known that team is. He's good at what he does. The same way with an agent. You want to choose the right agent rather than the team or the brokerage they work for. Number two misconception is that knowing somebody that has a real estate license is a benefit for you and is your best option when selling a home. The truth is that just because somebody has a real estate license, that doesn't necessarily mean they're very good at marketing or exposing your home. It also doesn't mean that they have the capital needed to market your home. And in this market, selling a home requires a lot more than good intentions. It also requires skills and a lot of money. Number three misconception is just go with the agent that wants to list the home for the highest amount of money or for the lowest fee. That usually ends in disaster. Listing your home for too much money, especially in the market like the one we have right now, just means that it will sit on the market for too long. And when it does sell, it usually sells for a lot less than market value, because at that point in time, it has become a stale listing and everybody thinks there's something wrong with it. Listing with a discount broker also means that your home doesn't get any exposure, or at least very little exposure, because marketing costs money. That's just a fact. So listing with a discount broker is not going to give you the exposure that your home needs to, and especially not the exposure to the right people, because that really costs money. So today I'll talk about the right way to sell your home fast and for top dollar and with the least amount of problem, the least amount of hassle. And that really has nothing to do with any of those three misconceptions that I just talked about here. So, as you know, a lot of people think an agent is an agent because every single agent in this state has passed the exact same real estate exam. They took the exact same test. So great, now they have a license. That gave them the right to be an agent, but it did not give them the knowledge to be a targeted marketing expert. Any agent and in any brokerage you list with is going to get your home on the MLS. They're going to get you listed on realtor.com, homes.com, and zillow.com. That actually happens automatically when it goes into the MLS. It happens through what they call automatic syndication. The MLS is automatically going to have it to go on realtor.com, zillow.com, and hundreds of other sites. So you will get in front of all these people, and you get that from any agent you choose. But it is going to create limited chances of you actually selling your home at all. Or if you do, it might go for regular price or even below the actual market value. Why is that? Well, it's because it hasn't been exposed to the people that would have a feverish response to your home, people that would be highly motivated to buy your specific type of home. So I'm going to show you exactly what we do over the next few minutes here, and why you don't want a commodity type agent who is completely replaceable for anyone else with a license. Because of course, you don't really want to list your home. You want to sell it, and you want to sell it at top price. The object of putting anything on the market is never to list it. It is to sell it. If you just wanted to list your home, go with a commodity agent. Anyone who has a real estate license would do that in that case. But I'm pretty sure that you don't really want to list your home. You want to sell it if you decided to get rid of it. So, and you obviously also know that just asking more won't necessarily get you more for the sale of a home. It's the marketing campaign that's going to create the best quality buyers that are willing to pay premium from your home for your home, and that's what's going to get your price up. And those premium buyers, they're not going to be found by just advertising your home on realtor.com or zillow.com, or just by any agent who throws it in the MLS and waits to hopefully find a buyer. That is why you want to think about who you're actually hiring as a homeowner when you want to sell your home, whether that person is me or somebody else. The person you want to represent you is the person who can get your property exposed to the right buyer. The most important thing to look for is a target marketing specialist. And I want you to write that down, because using a target marketing specialist is how you get your home exposed to the most opportune buyers, and more importantly, is what's going to get you sell your property for more than you thought possible. A licensed agent who simply promises you a higher price but has no empirical data to show you How they're going to make that happen? They're not going to get you the desired results. They need to have an impressive multimedia marketing approach. And that's what I'm going to show you here. I've been saying that a lot, a target marketing expert, targeted marketing strategy. And you may be wondering what that is. What is target marketing? Target marketing is focusing in on who the most likely buyer for your product or service is. For example, if you wanted to sell a 1965 Ford Mustang, that car has a different value to different people. A car dealer might look it up in Kelly's Blue Book, if it's still in there, and offer you maybe $5,000 for it. A collector of classic cars might offer you $15,000. But if you can find a collector of American muscle cars from the 1960s who is missing that one car in their collection, that person might be offering you as much as $100,000 for that car, especially, like I said, if it is the missing piece in his or her collection. The exact same way as that Mustang has different value to different people, homes have different value to different people. So your home has the most value to the buyer whose desires matches the location, the amenities, the school districts, and everything else the most. For example, if you take a middle of the road price range home in our area, it's a 4-bedroom home with a first floor primary bedroom, all 3 other bedrooms are upstairs. It's in a good school district, has a fenced yard, and has a pool. Who's the most likely buyer for that home? Who should we be targeting that home to? Well, we know for sure that it's going to be somebody that's anywhere from 40 to 55 years old. Somebody who has at least 2 kids in their teens. They have 1 pet, most likely a dog. They're likely to come from a smaller home in the same school district. They'll have a credit score of 680 or higher, and they're going to have an annual household income, a total household income of at least 1/3 of the purchase price of your home. And they have equity in their current home or savings of at least 10 to 20% of the purchase price. This is your most opportune buyer, the most likely person to buy your house. Now that we know that, we can go and get a list of all the people who matches these criteria. And that is the group of people that we will concentrate our marketing on. How do we know that it's our most opportune buyer? Well, we know that because anybody who's younger than 40 years old may still be looking to have young children, meaning that they probably don't want to have their bedroom on on a different level than the rest of the bedrooms. They want to be close to the nursery. We also know that if you have teenage kids, you're most likely to want to be away from those kids so they can have their privacy. So you want bedrooms on different floors if you have teenage kids. We also know that they need to have a credit score of 680 or higher to qualify for a decent mortgage. And they need to make about 1/3 of what the purchase price is, again, to qualify for the mortgage. With a fenced yard, we know that when you have a fenced yard, we know that if they have a pet or a dog especially, they will be willing to pay a premium for your house because that is easier for them. They can let the dog out there. So what we do, we can take all this information and create a combination of online and offline marketing targeted directly at these people. So we start by acquiring a list of the most opportune prospects, the most opportune buyers, matching these exact criteria. We do this through mailing list and marketing list brokers based on the selects that we want. A select, for instance, is the people with a credit score of 680 or higher. People who make 150,000 or more, that's another select. People who have at least 2 teenage children, that's a third select we could use. And we can keep going and going and going and select till we get each exact list of people who are most likely to buy your home. By combining all these selects and narrowing down our list down to family size, age of the parents, age of the children in the home, household income, the credit score, the hobbies, the interest, how many vehicles do they have in the home, do they have a boat, do they have jet skis, etc., etc. We can really narrow that list down to pinpoint the exact list of people who are most likely to buy a home. Like if you have a 3-car or 4-car garage, we'll include a select for how many vehicles are registered to them. We might include watercraft ownership if your home is on the water. So we want people with a boat. So we can really narrow this down to find the most opportune prospect for your individual home. And then what we do is we utilize an online and offline approach where we target that most opportune buyer, the most likely person to buy your home. We also know what property your buyer most likely comes from, where they currently live, where they're moving from, which areas they come from, what kind of home are they moving from? Are they moving from apartment or house? Are they moving up to your house? Are they moving down to your house? Are they empty nesters? I said likely they come from a divorce situation where they'll be downsizing. We also know that most of people are moving locally, but because a lot of people, especially here in Central Florida, are moving from an area from other counties and other states, we also use statistics from the United States Census Bureau to target the most opportune buyers from other counties and other states as well, but only from the counties that we know that people are most likely to move from. We want to find out what's going to be the most opportune prospect so we can market directly to them. And then what we do is we can use these acquired contacts for everything from postcard campaigns to specific sales letters that we mail directly to the people, and we can target them on social media, on Facebook, on other social media, on Google, on YouTube. So because once we know that who they are, the possibilities of how to target them are really endless. So we do a lot of online marketing where we get that list of everybody that lives in a neighborhood, a move out late neighborhood, everybody who meets the criteria uh, for to buy a home in your price range with your specific amenities, your specific number of bedrooms, and all that stuff. And we can use that list that we just created to target them on their individual Facebook page through that targeted marketing approach. And we do that by using what's known as Facebook's custom audience feature, which is an approach that target people with marketing. It's not a social marketing. We're not posting on social media. We do that as well, but we don't. But we use paid advertising to target people on their Facebook page, when they search on Google, when they go on YouTube. So it's a real marketing approach where we can utilize all of the data we collected to get specific ads for your house in front of these most opportune buyers directly where they are on their Facebook page, on other social media, on Google, on YouTube, everywhere they are, and also in their mailbox. And this approach is currently selling thousands of homes across the country. This targeted approach with, for example, Facebook custom audiences is selling lots of homes, but everything that we do is targeted and make sure that it goes out to those that are most likely to be interested, meaning it is truly targeted towards the people that might want to buy. It's not social marketing. It's not posting on social media. And these ads will follow them wherever they go when they're online. So we invest a lot of money, a lot of time in custom audience on Facebook and other sites, home search sites, so we can put your home in front of the right people wherever they are online. And because we have their names and addresses, we can also use this information offline to send postcards, campaigns, and other mailing campaigns. Though I must say that the online campaign is by far the most efficient. But we do cover all the bases so we can get the maximum number of buyers interested in the home, and that way driving up the price, creating that feeding frenzy that we're always looking for when we're selling a home, where you win because people are fighting over your property and they are willing to pay a premium for your home. And those lists that we use are readily available. As an example, if you've been receiving a postcard in the mail from your local car dealership, sort of explains what we do, and it's probably something you've been exposed to. If they say you have a 2019 Mazda, you will get a postcard saying that your local car dealer has a shortage of Mazdas, so they're willing to pay a premium price for your car. Well, the person who lives next door to you, they might be driving a Toyota, so they get the same postcard with that slight difference that it says that they need Toyotas in their car dealership. That's targeted marketing, and that's exactly what we can do for your house. These people, they simply acquire a list of which cars are located at each property, and they have what's known as a variable data print that goes and puts that information in the postcard. So one person gets a postcard about Toyotas, the other one gets a postcard about Mazdas, one gets a postcard about Chevys. We make sure that the right people get a postcard, a letter, or an online ad about your house. That's what target marketing approach is. That's when you speak directly to those people about something that's important to them, something they want, something they need, something they're interested in. And that is exactly why the targeted marketing approach is so effective and why it's so central to our approach. So we do a lot of targeted marketing that way to match up who's the best buyer for your property. Again, going back to the online version, Facebook custom audience is a perfect example of us getting to them where they are every day, because let's face it, most Americans spend a lot of their time on Facebook, but they're also on other social media, so we're not forgetting that. We just target them wherever they're camping out every day. But staying with Facebook a little while, another option with Facebook is Facebook Marketplace, a thing that's often overlooked in marketing of homes. Facebook Marketplace is their online classified sections, just like there used to be classified sections in newspaper in the old days. That's where local buyers and special relocation buyers look for homes as well. Because we know that we have a lot of relocation buyers, and we know a lot of them goes on Facebook Marketplace to see what's going on in their local area, not their local area, but the local area they're moving to. So they're searching on Facebook Marketplace for other things. So we want to make sure that your home is there as well. So somebody who's living in New York or Chicago or wherever they're moving from to this area, when they're looking at Facebook Marketplace and looking at local events, look at going on, maybe yard sales, or to see what's going on in the neighborhood they're moving to, they will see your home as well. And they'll click on your home and they'll get all the information they want. So we use Marketplace and other online classified style locations such as Craigslist and other types of classified locations to make sure that we give you the maximum exposure. Because the reason we love online marketing so much, and like I said, we're not forgetting the offline, we're doing a lot of offline too, but we really do a lot of online marketing because recent stats shows that up towards 98% of home buyers, they shop online. That's literally 98 out of every 100 people. They look at their home online first. So whoever has the best online presence and in front of the right people, those are the people who get their home sold first and for the most amount of money. So as part of our targeted marketing approach, we also use what's known as retargeting. I'm pretty sure you have been exposed to retargeting many times in your life, and probably even many times today. So if you've been shopping online for shoes, you have probably noticed that those shoes that you looked at on one website, they suddenly follow you around wherever you go online. You could look at the news, you go on your Facebook, you go on other social media, you search for stuff on Google, you read an interesting article, suddenly those shoes are there. That's retargeting. Every website, it seems, suddenly has an ad for the shoes that you looked at. We can and we do the same thing for your house. When somebody has seen our ads or looked at homes on one of the home search sites, even homes that are similar to yours, your home will follow them wherever they go. Most agents don't know how to do this, or they don't have a marketing team to set up for them because they're just a one-person operation, or they don't have the money to do it. So when you look for an agent, make sure you pick an agent who can do things like this. It doesn't have to be me, just someone who is able to market your asset the way it deserves. Somebody with a marketing team behind them, just like our team. They also need a large enough team or marketing department to follow up with these leads. If we expose your property to 500 potential buyers here in the area, and 110 of them click on the ad, go through the photos there, they looked at everything, they showed some interest in your property, spend some time on your property, then it is really important that you have the procedures and the resources to follow up and remarket to these people, because I think we can all agree that buying a home is a process, it's not an event. Just because somebody looks at your home one time doesn't mean they buy it right away. They just don't wake up one day and say, hey, I want to buy this house. It's a process they go through. So think about it, they do some research, they do their due diligence. So there will be home buyers interested in your house that don't initially take action. That is why the retargeting and the follow-up is so important. So you need to follow up with helpful and useful information. We need to keep your home directly in front of them. Again, this helps jack up the price, jacking up the interest in your home, because we can create more demand through that marketing, that retargeting. Another approach that works really well for us, if we switch to the online method, that's something we have had pretty good success with here, and that's called specific EDDM campaigns. Let me give you that again. EDDM, every door direct mail. It's a service offered by the US Postal Service called EDDM Direct, Every Door Direct Mail. It is designed to help the local cleaners or maybe ice cream shop. So if they want to market to a specific neighborhood, they can get some marketing out there at a decent price. And as the name suggests, if you send out EDDM, Every Door Direct, it goes to every single homeowner on a specific mail carrier's route on a specific day. So if, for example, we wanted to market your home, your house to an apartment complex that has a very high-end rent, or maybe to a move-up neighborhood where people are known for selling their smaller homes and moving up to a bigger home like yours, that's where we use EDDM. So anybody we want to market to in a specific area, if we want to go for a specific area, we can target that area using the EDDM campaign. And that's targeting in another way. A lot of agents don't offer this because while each individual mail piece is cheap, and if you're just like an ice cream shop, you want to go out to just a couple of hundred people, it's not going to cost you a lot. But in our case, where we usually want to go to thousands of people at the time, because we want to go as deep as possible, it is, while cheap by piece, it suddenly becomes very expensive. But it is a very efficient tool to sell a home. It's expensive because you have to hit a lot of homes for this to work. But we invest that money because it works and it gets you better results to sell the property for more money. And so in the long run, we do invest that money to market our properties at a high level. So if we were to accept the project and work with you on your home, you can expect to get some really, really superior marketing to get your home in front of the right eyeballs, to in front of the right families, in front of the most likely buyers who are interested in buying your home exactly. So what we can do with the EDM, like I said, we can choose the neighborhood that buyers are most likely to come from, regardless of it's a single family home, condos, apartments, or whatever the case might be, from luxury neighborhoods where they might be moving down or moving up neighborhoods. We can simply target by price range, school districts. We simply use our data to find the most opportune area to market to, like we find the most opportune buyer to market to, so we can get directly in front of them in their mailbox with a very specific marketing campaign centered around your house, so we can choose the best community to market your home to. And that way we can create some really exceptional results for you. So what I'm trying to say is that with every single listing that our team takes on here, we built a complete and fully customized marketing campaign. It's not a one fit all. We've built this complete and fully customized marketing campaign that combines online and offline approaches to get that home of yours in front of the maximum amount of the right people, the most opportune buyers. And because we invest so much time and money in each listing, we have to be fairly selective in the projects we accept. That's why we don't accept all projects. If we cannot meet your needs, of course, I'd rather turn you down now than let you down later. A lot of homeowners are shocked as to how much we can sell their home for, and we do hear that a lot. But if we cannot meet your needs, we're going to let you know that, and we're going to turn you down right now rather than later. So whatever it is you have, is waterfront, golf course, anything in between, anything in the world, we can target the right buyers. And of course, every house and every situation is unique. So we have to customize everything we do to get your home sold. So, but it has to be the right fit for everyone. So just by watching this video here, I hope I was able to show you a couple of techniques and trade secrets if you like, that will help you get more from the sale of your home. Now, another big benefit we offer is our pre-market matches. Since we have such a large team and such a large marketing exposure, we do have a large number of active buyers that are looking right now. Simply because we advertise so much, we always have a large list of highly motivated buyers who are looking for specific types of homes. So there's a pretty good chance that we can match your home up to some of these active buyers in the area with what we call our pre-market scenario. So that can even sometimes raise the price even higher and eliminate the need for a full listing campaign. So we might want to look at some pre-market matches that would make this process even easier for you as a homeowner. And of course, these people are usually willing to pay a premium to keep your home from hitting the market. So we would obviously look at that as well. So, there's a really good thing about having a team for you here. You get everybody on this team for the price of one. The big advantage of you hiring a professional team with marketing department as opposed to hiring a single agent with limited time, limited knowledge of marketing, and more importantly, probably a limited advertising budget. Because results are all that matters to you, and it is crucial to get the most bang for your buck on the sale of what might be, if not the largest, but one of the largest assets that you probably own. So I suggest you take advantage of hiring a professional team that has an individual marketing department designed specifically around making sure your home is exposed to the best quality buyers, and not just designed to throw your home in the MLS. So when you're choosing an agent, your number one goal as a home seller is quite simply find the agent that can make your home stand out as opposed to all the other competing homes in the market. So we're not talking about you being with the top company. We're not talking about have you ever sold a home in this neighborhood. We're not talking about how cheap can I get your commission and all that stuff. That does nothing for you. Actually netting more from the sale of your home, that's what matters. And let's be honest, the only thing that you should care about is, can your agent do this hassle free, and can your agent net you, the seller, as much as possible? You got to think about how can your house be featured as the best opportunity in town? How can it get in front of more of the most opportune prospects? And that's exactly what target marketing and massive exposure can do for you here. So you want to think about getting the best results possible for you. You want to think about choosing the best agent. It's crucial for your success. I've always said that cost is only a factor in the absence of value. And I think that's very true. So if you're looking for a commodity agent and you're okay with month and month on the market and dozens and dozens of the wrong type of people walking through your house over the next few months, any discount agent can do that for you. But to get more money and less time on the market and a smooth process with the perfect buyer, for that, you're going to need a competent professional, whether that's me or somebody else. So, of course, vet the agent first and then choose the program with that agent that's best for you. Once you've chosen the best agent, and you need to do that first, then you decide on the services that you feel are going to be most important for you. So our team, we have what we call our menu of services. We offer a good, better, and best model for our fees, as well as for the services we provide. So if you are cost sensitive and you want to keep it low cost, that's an option for you, even with us. If you want to make sure you can sell your home for a higher price, that's an option for you as well. We can do it any way that you want, but just make sure that you choose the best agent first, then you choose their services based on a good, better, or best model. When we take a quick tour of your home or meet via Zoom, we can also show you some options and give you some advice on what we would recommend for your specific individual house. You'll see our menu of services, which breaks down all the options on our fees as well as the target marketing that we do. So you can see how this is superior, frankly, to probably anyone else you would interview. And we have a really, really simple and basic three-step approach. Let me let me share with you what that is. First, we do a totally free, no obligation phone consultation to discuss your options and answer any questions that you might have. Like I said, this is totally free and no obligations at all. You can call me directly on my cell phone, which I answer most of the time, 8 to 8, 7 days a week. My number is 407 288 0704. Let me give you that again. That's 407 288 0704. That's what you need to do to get started. That phone consultation is just for you to gather some information and get your questions answers to see if it makes sense for you to move on to step two. Because obviously you would not do this if it didn't make sense to you. Step two is a walkthrough of your home to determine the condition and marketability. Now, at that time, we'll sit down to discuss the options that you have available to you again, and then we can decide from there where you want to go. If you are out of state or out of country, I can do the walkthrough without you being present, and we can do the meeting by Zoom. And once that's done, then step three is that we'll discuss how we can push your sale price even higher and go over the exact individual and customized marketing campaign that we have prepared for you. So you can look at all the cost and expenses and you'll see what your net number will be, what you will walk away with. So this is a really simple three-step approach. We start with a phone call, we do the walkthrough with a meeting, and then we go over the numbers. You can then make an educated decision whether whether you want to proceed or not. And you're never obligated along the way. And every step of the way is completely free for every bit that we do. The phone call, the walkthrough, and we'll give you lots of really good advice. And then when you see the final numbers, that's when you decide. Until then, you don't have to decide. You're not obligated to do anything. And I think you'll find this to be incredibly helpful. So I will encourage you to do this. Just give us a call or text. And here's again is my number, 407 288 0704. That's 407 288 0704 or +1 if you're out of country. You can also use WhatsApp. My number, I'm on WhatsApp as well if you're not in country and you prefer that message. So message me or give me a call. As an educated homeowner and a smart consumer, I want you to be educated. I want you to know what we can do for you here. And I want to help you every step of the way when it comes to selling your home and making sure you do it the right way. We would love to provide you with some helpful advice and answer all your questions and consider the possibility of accepting your project here to get you sold for the absolute top dollar. So I would encourage you today to be very selective on the agent that you choose. Obviously, timing comes into play, especially if you're moving or reinvesting. If you have a specific time frame in which you need to be sold, then timing is of the essence. Maybe you need to find your next property. Maybe you need your agent to help with that, and we can certainly do that as well. But we can talk about all that on the free call. So let's just have a casual conversation about it. Give me a call on 407 288 0704. And we might even bring up some things that you've never thought about that will help you along the way with making a decision. Do you even want to make a move right now? Because sometimes we end up encouraging people not to sell because it might not be the right time for you to sell. You will want to make your decision based on the marketing and exposure and the perfect timing. And we can talk about all of that, including the possible acquisition of the next house. We have a lot of unlisted properties here in the area. We have what we call the Dream Home Finder, where we can help you find your next home. But let's talk about that when we meet. Right now, I encourage you to give me a call, send me a text, There'll be a regular phone if you like, or WhatsApp. My number is 407-288-0704. If you're international, it will be +1 407-288-0704. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye for now.